It is difficult to imagine the Philippine educational landscape without the private schools. The private schools help the state fulfill its mandate of making quality education accessible to all Filipinos. It is in recognition of this role that the Fund for Assistance to Private Education, a permanent trust fund for private education, was established through Executive Order 156 on November 5, 1968. The Private Education Assistance Committee, or the PEAC, was created as the trustee of the fund. The PEAC is composed of the Secretary of Education as the ex officio chair and a representative each from the National Economic Development Authority, Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines, Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities, and Association of Christian Schools, Colleges, and Universities. For the development of private education, the PEAC takes on the role of funder, advocate, partner, and enabler. A national secretariat headed by an executive director executes the policies, programs, and initiatives of the PEAC for private education. In 1989, a landmark piece of legislation, RA 6728, or the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education, or GASPE, was passed. The GASPE Act, which was amended by RA 8545 in 1998, institutionalized government assistance to private education in the country. The Educational Service Contracting, or ESC, Teacher Salary Subsidy, or TSS, Senior High School Voucher Program, the In-Service Training, or INSET, and Research are part of the Department of Education's GASPE program. The PEAC implements the GASPE program given the track record of the PEAC in program management. The PEAC has been involved in the development of the ESC, from piloting a scheme, which was a precursor to the ESC in 1982 to 1986, to implementing the ESC in 1986 to 1991, and from 1996 up to the present. The ESC today has close to 1 million beneficiaries. Part of the PEAC infrastructure for the GASPE program is the Regional Secretariat. The PEAC-RS is headed by the Regional Program Director, who designates a Regional Program Coordinator for the day-to-day program implementation in the region. The PEAC has the following responsibilities in the GASPE program: orientation, ESC certification, SHS voucher applications, processing, monitoring, resolving cases of schools with adverse findings, regular meetings and consultations with stakeholders, research and data gathering, in-service training.
Okay, good morning, grade 7 students, and to those who are watching this ESC orientation. Welcome to our ESC Orientation 2020. To appreciate and understand better this ESC education service contracting is to know about its constitution and composition and how ESC came about. ESC may be a common acronym, but if I ask what each letter stands for, I may not have a quick answer from you. What is ESC for? What is its constitution and composition? I may not probably get any answer. I guess you really do not know the details of the ESC, but since you are candidates to be recipients of this ESC program, you should be informed and oriented about the government program, especially that you will receive financial assistance for your secondary schooling. It is actually a mandatory to ESC grantees to attend this orientation and learn about this program. It is our objective that after this session, you all will be informed about the details of ESC, and you being the ESC grantees, what are you supposed to do? Okay? Then, what is ESC? ESC Education Service Contracting is a government program wherein financial assistance in the form of tuition subsidies is extended to qualified elementary school graduates who wish to pursue junior high school, grade 7 to 10 in private schools. The Education Service Contracting ESC scheme is a partnership program by the Department of Education with certified private schools aimed at decongesting overcrowded public schools. So you know that public schools are overcrowded. So under Republic Act 8545, otherwise known as the Expanded Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education or GASPE, provides the legal basis for the ESC. The ESC bestows grants to poor but deserving elementary graduates to attend private junior high schools subcontracted by the government. Meaning to say, the ESC, by its name, is an education service contracting. So the government is contracting the service of the private schools, which is extended to the students from public schools who wish to study in the private schools. How did ESC come about? ESC Education Service Contracting came about in the context of the establishment of the Fund for Assistance to Private Education, or what we call as FAPE. What is FAPE? FAPE, or Fund for Assistance to Private Education, is a perpetual trust fund for private education created by Executive Order 156, Series 1968, and amended by Executive Order 150, Series of 1994. FAPE was created on November 5, 1968, in implementation of the project agreement between the Philippines and the United States government to establish a permanent trust fund that would address the needs of the private education sector in the country. Who manages the fund and implements the ESC? PEAC, or the Private Education Assistance Committee, acts as the trustee of the fund. PEAC is the implementing committee of the ESC, TSS, or the Teacher Salary Subsidy, and the Senior High School Voucher Program. To administer, manage, and supervise the Irrevocable Trust Fund, Executive Order Number 156 created and constituted the Private Education Assistance Committee, or PEAC, to act as the trustee of the fund. Now, how does ESC work? Junior high schools such as MDPS apply, and through stringent quality or strict quality assessment, are certified by DepEd through PEAC Private Education Assistance Committee to be part of the program. MDPS, for instance, when it applied first time way back in 2011, MDPS went through a certification process similar to PASCO accreditation. We responded to tedious requirements such as keeping up with quality curriculum and instruction, good and skilled teachers, student services, and school facilities. Accrediting people from PEAC came and found out for themselves how good our school was, so they could recognize us as ESC participating school and give us slots for student grantees. Junior high school became ESC participating schools, are given a number of slots that come with subsidies called ESC grants. Thus, junior high school must maintain high standard of education to continue participating. And then program beneficiaries are called ESC grantees. Who are ESC grantees? Those who want to be ESC grantees must enroll for grade 7 in an ESC participating school. Each ESC participating school has school committee that will select grade 7 ESC grantees. No new ESC grants are awarded at higher levels. Meaning to say, if you come grade 8 and you do not start grade 7 in MDPS, then you will not be granted this ESC grant. How are the grantees selected? Eligibility. Elementary graduate or graduates from a DepEd public school or DepEd recognized private school are eligible to be a grantee or eligible to be grantees. Incoming grade 7 student has not been recipient of the ESC in previous school years, and of course, Filipino citizen. What are the requirements for ESC application? First, you've got to fill out the application form. You've got to provide your recent identical 2x2 ID photos, okay? And then what else? For learners with no LRN or with no learner profile in the learner information system, you have to provide a certified true copy of the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA, your birth certificate. Okay? And then the grade 6 report card and the proof of income of your parents or guardian or the ITR 2316. Okay. Now, how much is the ESC grant? For grade 7, it's 13,000. For grade 8, it's 13,000. For grade 9, 13,000. And grade 10, 13,000. This is for the school year 2020-2021. Now, it says here that the amount of subsidy given to the grantee at grade 7 is the same amount the grantee will receive until grade 10. Meaning to say, this school year as grade 7, you will receive 13,000. The next year, when you are in grade 8, it's again 13,000. In grade 9, 13,000. And in grade 10, 13,000. Okay? Now, what if they increase, if PEAC increases the grant? Okay. Let's say it increases by 15,000. So those who can enjoy the 15,000, for example, by next school year, is only the incoming grade 7 by next school year. And then throughout the 4 years of their junior high school, they will be receiving 15,000, while your batch will be receiving 13,000. So this is the meaning for the amount of the subsidy given at grade 7 is the same amount of the subsidy will be giving until grade 10. Okay. What is the amount of the ESC grants in the Philippines per student? Now, in the schools in NCR for grade 7, 8, 9, and 10, it's all 13,000. But it's different in the highly urbanized cities like Baguio City, Cebu City. It's different. So this is outside NCR. So it is 11,000. Not 13,000, but 11,000 from grade 7 to grade 10. Now in other locations, so it's 9,000. Okay? So if that is, let's say in San Mateo Rizal, Montalban Rizal, the grant is only 9,000 this school year. Okay? So how about if from San Mateo Rizal, you transfer to Marikina, will you receive the 13,000? No. You will only receive 9,000. What are the terms of the ESC grant? The ESC grant starts at grade 7 and covers only 4 years of junior high school. The grant remains in force for the next school year if the grantee is promoted to the next grade level and enrolls in ESC participating junior high school. No maintaining grades are required of grantees. Okay? How about the termination of the grant? The grant is terminated if a grantee does any of the following: drops out in the middle of the school year, does not re-enroll the following school year, fails to be promoted to the next grade level, transfers to a non-ESC participating junior high school, and is suspended for more than 2 weeks, dismissed or expelled by the ESC participating junior high school for disciplinary reasons. So as you can see, my dear students, the condition of the ESC for you to remain a grantee is not really difficult. Actually, there is no maintaining grade. Even if your grade is 75, you still qualify. Okay? However, please do not drop out in the middle of the school year. Now, if you stop school, then your grant will also be terminated. What more if you fail to be promoted to the next grade level? So please don't do this. Okay? But if you wish to transfer to another school, make sure that it is an ESC participating school. Otherwise, if it is not, then you also lose the grant. Now, the conditions are very simple, my dear students. All you have to do is to study well. Keep up with the grant. My dear students, comes with this privilege, ESC grant is a responsibility. It is your responsibility to continue studying and not to fail. But more than this, it is your responsibility to yourself to study well, improve yourself, and be the better version of yourself. Now, this is the application form. As I've said, you will be receiving this application form on site. They will be available and you can pick it up, or your parents or guardians can pick it up, your application form. So today, you get your application form, and the next is submission on September 14. Okay? Now, what you have to do is to fill out all the information accurately. Now, if there are informations that are not applicable, just write NA. Okay? And make sure it is properly signed by your parent or guardian. Understand? And make sure you pass this on time. Otherwise, we will be late and we might lose the slots. How to process your ESC application? Okay, the school, will process your application to ESC. So all you have to do is to get a copy. Today is the release of the application form. You can get them from your cubby holes. You have to fill out the form accurately. Do not leave any fields blank. Now, if there are not applicable details, then all you have to do is to write NA, or not applicable. Then you have to submit the form to the registrar's office on or before September 14, 2020. Again, the deadline is on September 14, 2020. If you do not pass your application form, we assume that you are not interested and you don't want to be an ESC grant. Okay, so please be responsible to get a copy, fill out, and submit on time. Now, just to find out whether you understand the much of this orientation, details of this orientation, you will have a short quiz. Okay, it's actually a question and answer activity, but this will be in a multiple choice type. Okay? So you go to your NGS and answer the short quiz. Okay? Before I end this orientation, let me just share with you this message from Helen Keller. It says, "A well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers." Now, when you start to have so much questions, even with regard to your lessons, then it's a sign that you are improving as a person. Okay. Now, I'm sure you all have questions right now about the ESC. But then what you have to do is to just course your questions to your class advisor, and I will be getting your questions from her, and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. So for now, thank you for joining this orientation. This is Mrs. De Guzman saying goodbye, and again, thank you.